that image so that they could be more attracted to you. But I'm not saying don't do that because you don't want to go traveling. Because actually, if you start reading history, a lot of us black, all of us in America, a lot of us blacks, not all of us, but a lot of us blacks have been on a migration move anyway. You know, if you listen to the Hebrew Israelites or Africans, and the Moors who are already here in America, got shipped to Spain. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. So we all been mixed up and traveling. Plus, it's one world. Why not travel? Why not be with who you want? Because AIDS was man-made, and a lot of these sexual diseases and stuff, they're curable and stuff. And if people just be clean and stuff, instead of doing some crazy stuff. But it's traveling across seas and seeing these women, because I was talking to another brother the other day while I went over. I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, it's cool. But I was talking to a brother the other day, and he was talking about how these Japanese women out here just straight up look like light-skinned black women without any butts. But some of them got them. But I mean, they got some beautiful legs. I mean, some big, thick lips. They're the whole, not the back of the skull, because a lot of parents don't pick them up, so sometimes they're flat. But I mean, their face in the front, they got their jaw coming out, protruding and stuff, and protruding out and stuff. And I mean, you look at them, a lot of them do look like black women. Just like black. I wouldn't say black women in America only. I said black people, black females and stuff. And they just look light skinned, and not all, because even all black people don't look the same way. But it's just some fine women, and I mean, they dress nice and smiling, and if I tell you, if the women in Japan spoke more English, then it would be, oh my God, the sex out here would be just so incredibly easier to get, because these women don't really have a lot of sex with their own men, and I guess. Because to me, I think sex is a natural thing to do, because, it's just human, your organs start to moving, and like I said in my other videos about bass, you got bass in your voice, so you hear, boom, it'll make you horny and stuff, whether you're a man or woman, it don't matter, so, out here, though, it's just something to do, and they got these love hotels everywhere. I mean, by all these stations and stuff, almost by every station there's a little love hotel cities and stuff, I might as well call them, and stuff, and it costs $30 3 hours, sometimes $30 5 hours, and you stay all night for real cheap. They're way better than the regular hotels and stuff they have out here that you stay in, except for these luxury hotels. But I mean, they're way better. They got, the bathrooms are huge, jacuzzis, TVs in the bathroom, and it's almost like going to a 4 or 5-star hotel, and a lot roomy, and I mean, it's just really interesting. Cable, anything, almost, well, some places got a lot of cable, something, but, they got, this is really incredible, and so these guys, instead of taking these girls to their homes and stuff, you might as well go to the hotel, spend, $50, $60 all night, from 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock till 10 or 12 the next morning, this fine women, she could be with, and it's a trip. So, all this sex and stuff, that's out here in the world, I mean, everybody's doing it. I mean, and it shouldn't be a shame or anything like that. And I don't believe God is going to restrict people from doing it. It's just something natural. I mean, if you don't have sex, then can't reproduce, and God won't have any people to serve Him, right? Because according to the Bible, it says we were created to serve Him or bring Him praise or some crap like that. But I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the sex around the world is great, and it's there waiting for you. But my videos that I want to do basically is going to talk about staying in the house, because the way they throw sex at people in the States, they try to create this image of being sexually and this and that, and it's all about money. And I'm not saying they wrong or anything like that. but it's just dangerous because of the well, it's not even that. I'm not even gonna put it on them because they doing that to make money. Plus, they generating it towards adults, and then adults should be more responsible for what they're doing, their actions. They shouldn't just meet one night and then end up pregnant or getting somebody pregnant, or talking to a girl and walking into a parking lot, some other guy there jealous, because you're talking to him, get into a fight. And it shouldn't be like that, It really shouldn't be like that. But, they I guess they're making these images out there and stuff, and I guess they're just directed towards grown men and women who understand what's going on and who don't have those problems and stuff. And everybody else that's watching it, they should have signs saying, hey, if you can't handle your emotions and alcohol, then don't do this. This is dangerous. They might as well do it because it is. A lot of people, like when I was coming up, a lot of black men were getting, leaving this earth early because of jealousy, dating some girl and somebody, some blood hood or some crip hood, like, why? I couldn't understand why they doing it, but I was doing it too because I was in Venice and stuff, hanging out out there with them, and I was going to all kinds of hoods. I was going to Nickerson Gardens, visiting this one girl, and Grape Street, and ABC Hood. I was all up in Pomona, Altadena, and they all bloods up there. And I was everywhere, and I don't know. Nobody didn't bother me. Maybe because I was in real good shape, and I never carried a gun or anything. One day I was at this bus stop, and these dudes rolled up on me. Where you from? I said Venice. They just kept on going, and I was in Linwood. I think it was bloods from over there. So I was like, dang, what was up? So anyway, I just, it was crazy. I just couldn't understand it. But a lot of guys, they did go visit these girls, and a lot of guys end up getting killed. But I think it was because maybe when they go to different hoods and stuff, somebody said, what's up? Like I'll say I'm from Venice, but I wouldn't say Venice Shoreline Crip. Where you from? Venice Shoreline Crip. I didn't say all that and stuff. But because I think it's stupid to say that because you run up against someone who don't really like you, and you start throwing the sets and stuff, and you by yourself, and if you're not packing or anything, you get shot up for no reason, just for trying to claim some hood and stuff. That's ridiculous and stuff. But everybody knows, well, at least on the west side and stuff, the enemies of Venice anyway, 60s and Playboys and stuff, they knew that if you from Venice and you were gang affiliated, that you would say Venice only. Everybody else said Venice Beach, so that was the distinction. So, but nothing didn't happen, so I was like, all right, cool, whatever, But I had friends from all over. It was a trip, And maybe because I had a baby face, or maybe because I don't think it was because I was yoked. I didn't say cuss so much. I hardly ever said it, because I was just, I don't know, I just knew. I mean, the first hood I lived in was in Inglewood, and they were blessed, but I didn't know anything. Wasn't introduced. I didn't know anything about gangs until I went to Venice. But the whole thing is, just traveling around and it was just really interesting. But like I said, a lot of people just get hurt because of these, because they look at these images of love and sex, but they're not prepared to adventure in that game, in that world, because they just don't understand, and they think they do understand. But when it's talking about sex and love and all this stuff, there are a lot of stuff that you really need to understand. And if you don't understand, it'll drive you crazy, and you end up hurting people. Like you got these. I don't really hear too much on the news about black people, but I do hear about a lot of white people. They get divorced, and the wife would be somewhere. Like my grandmother, on her birthday in April 12th this year, she went to some nice restaurant somewhere down south, Alabama, I think it was, and some dude, I guess him and his wife had problems, or he was divorced. Some dude went in, shot up the whole road, whole restaurant, and there was a white dude shot up the restaurant. I think he killed his wife or something, injured one of his own kids. I mean, how can you do that? You know, because you manage your wife and stuff, some crazy stuff, you know. And it was some white dude, you know, and it's people just do some crazy stuff, you know, because they don't understand this game of love. And just because they put it out there, and just because you're capable of doing it, don't mean you need to be doing it because you're not, you know, because you think you prepare. You know, if you're not prepared to get into the game, you know, then you need to stay away from the game. Gosh, is this something? I need to put up this one. Okay, my next video I'm going to read it, but I put up this one. I sent this one brother this one letter about how to come to Japan, and this is what you do to do things right. You know, it's pretty cool though, and it's possible, you know. But and I'm trying to work on that too. But it was really interesting. So basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm talking about these young guys who are coming up in their teens and stuff, and they going to college and they run around here, you know, doing all this stuff, and just saying, hey, you know, you're better off. You're just better off preparing yourself for the real world until you're 22, or at least till you get your degree. You know, and get your degree. I want to say to 22 because it gives you a chance to have a year experience being able to drink and stuff like that. You know, you had a year experience to see, hey, if drinking's for you or if it's not for you, because you don't want to mix drinking and have to get out there trying to have sex and mix it up with drinking and stuff like that, because if you don't know how to handle it, it's going to have some very seriously permanent consequences for you and stuff like that. And so that's why, you know, I want to start this thing. You know, if you're young, you stay in the house. Now, what I mean by stay in the house is not stay in the house 24 hours. Like I just got a video from one of my YouTubers, but our YouTube subscribers. I'm not staying in the house 24 hours, but you know, if you're gonna go outside. Go outside. If you want to relax, fine. If you're living in a city where you can't even look out your window and get popped, you know, then you should stay in the house. But I mean, like in a nice day, you know, it's really not so much going on. Just go outside and relax. You know, when it start getting dark and you got these crazy people coming out and stuff, just stay in the house. I mean, there are a lot of things to do to stay in the house. So you go to your friend's house if you're going to go home. You know, try not to go home alone. You know, get somebody to take you home. You know, just try to be safe. I mean, it's just because the whole thing is if you're out in the streets at night, then the police for some reason, you know, they bored too, you know, and they might stop you and start asking you all these questions, and you know, they might get frustrated because they if you're not, you know, if you're 25 and you complain on YouTube to the world, you know that, oh, you know, I can't have sex, and then, you know, these girls in the neighborhood, they're not giving me sex, you know, sex. You know, these cops out here, they're not getting it either. You know, putting on a uniform might make a woman attractive to you, you know, but a lot of them not going to just start taking off their clothes, and they might, you know, but then when they kind of find out that you're not what, you know, what they thought you was, and they start talking and stuff, and when women talk, that stuff spreads, you know, and then next thing you know, you could be a cop, you know, but you still don't harm no woman, or the woman you left you for some thug, you know, and you upset, and so you want to take it on to everybody else that left you for some black guy or some white guy or whatever. So when you're out in the streets, you know, you still got to meet up with these guys, and you call them cops and stuff, that's fine, but before they're police officers, they're human beings, and they're going to react off their emotions too. So basically, I'm just saying, it's just be safe. You know, when you're out there in the streets. But if you don't have to be out there in the streets, you know, you can be in the house. You watch TV, whatever you want. You know, I watch the educational things. But studying and stuff, is really nothing wrong with that, because once you start studying, you start understanding that stuff. Like, I'm starting to memorize the periodical table and stuff, because I've been wanting to do it for a long time. And they start, you know, you get these words like, I can't think of any. But you start getting these words, and you kind of see the they develop. There's this word that was from Latin, or this word from Arabic. You know, you're like, huh? Wait a minute. You know, and these